Guys, what's going on? It's Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. That means it's time for Proper Royals Live. That, I got my points right. Look at that. I know how to point now. That is Steven from Leviathan Snakes. If you watch live streams anywhere, I'm sure you've seen Steven and or Courtney together pop up on other live streams. And Steven, maybe Steven and Gershon are the two that have been on my show the most. And I wanted to bring Steven back. It's a new season as far as like what's going on in the ball python breeding cycle, and we're going to find out about that. It's a bit of a new season economically, man. Things have gone a little bit crazy lately. I know that he and I will both have opinions on that. And if you know Steven, we're going to talk some marketing as well. So stick around tonight. Steven, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited to be on. And
yeah, I'm glad to have you back. We were just to give everybody a peek behind the curtain. We were just talking offline, and lately I've been kind of taking care of updates and business stuff before I bring on the guest. And I was like, man, you and I, we just hang out and it works fine. The chemistry's there. I don't have to worry about like kind of pulling the show along or wondering if I'm going to have to. So Steven gets to hang out from the start. Just take
my audio being bad again?
What's that?
Is my audio being crappy again? Worst case scenario, I have to jump off now, jump back on my phone. So
yeah, I think it's pretty clean for me, I think. Anyway,
okay.
Let us know in the comments if you hear any background noise. Man, 19 people out of the gate, 8:03. Hey, thank you. You guys know, if you see my show, I'm not real big with like the super like hype shout outs where I call everybody out that's out there. But I see you guys, and if you do watch my show, you know that I'm a nut for the numbers, and 19 out of the gate is huge. So,
they say lots of static. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'm going to jump back on my phone. Okay.
Okay, cool. I'll see you in a minute. I'll catch up on some business here. So I want to tell everybody thank you. And I also, Steven has a massive following on Instagram. And if you're a new viewer tonight, thank you. I hope you'll like it. Stick around. Steven knows his stuff. We keep it really pretty tight on ball python and reptile content versus some other shows you might see. Nothing wrong with them, but one of the whole points of me starting this show was that it wouldn't just be like two dudes ranting on for 4 or 5 hours about lots of things other than snakes. We're going to keep it right on the hobby, and we'll keep it here for we'll go at least an hour, maybe 90 minutes, and we'll see how we're feeling at the end of it. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I see a lot of usual faces, which I'm thankful for. Some new faces, too. Gray Rider, Reptiles. I don't think I've seen you all before. Thank you, Susan. It's been a while. Welcome back. Kai, you're always here. You popped up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the support. Low Life Exotics. I think you should give yourself a little more credit, brother. That's just a joke. I don't know. Thanks for being here tonight. Mark, how are you, man? Thank you for coming in. Tito, I got to see that green tree python, man. You got to send me pictures when you get it. Good luck. Congratulations. That thing. I know you sent me a picture. It's gorgeous. So, hey, next week, speaking of heavy hitters and big followers on Instagram, I got Dale Richards from Constricted Reptiles going to be on the show. Something like 26,000 followers on Instagram. Like just big time, dude. Really nice guy. True story here when I tell you this. And I don't tell you to brag. It just was kind of a cool like validation of what I do. I'm walking through Repticon in Jacksonville show 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. It's a small show. It gets a rough rap. It's on the same weekend as the Atlanta weekend. So, Steve's Morphs are up in Atlanta. George MD was in Atlanta. Guys like Jeremy Baud aren't coming up to Jacksonville for it. It's in between Atlanta and the Tampa and Orlando shows. Anyway, I'm walking through, and I didn't even recognize Dale. I knew of him, but I didn't recognize him. Constricted Reptiles. He goes, "Hey, I see your show, man. Glad you came out today." I was like, wow, okay. So anyway, Dale will be on next week. I'm grateful to have him on. I'm working on some cool new guests that I haven't seen on sort of the circuit as well lately. So I'm excited for that. Steven is fixing up his audio, and I know he's getting his phone worked up. I guess there was a lot of static on the line. I thought we had it fixed ahead of time, but Steven will be back. He is super dependable. A couple cool things. I want to say hey to Nick at Lightning Morphs. I did last week. He bought some snakes from me, and I shipped out the snakes last week. He got the snakes, and he made this really cool, flattering video and gave me some really, really kind words. So, Nick, thanks very much at Lightning Morphs. Best of luck to you on your breeding season. This week around here, not too much going on. A lot of ovulations, not any eggs yet. I see nothing but eggs being posted all over Instagram. But I got good ovulations. I think I still got 12 to 13 girls in the game. So I got to remember my eggs last year, my first eggs didn't come till July last year. Can you imagine? Like, I didn't think anything of it last year because I didn't know it was my first year. And now I'm like, where are my eggs, man? So congrats to those of y'all that have eggs. And, man, tradesman, is the static still going on? What's going on here? Static is in and out for me also. Phil says my time's coming. Yeah, I got to get this. We got to get this sound right. Hang on a second. How about now? Check, check. I brought down the volume. Still static? No static? Socio Serpent says, I would love to stay and hang. I'm actually at the movies watching the new Doctor Strange. That's awesome, man. Thank you for coming and checking it out. All right. I tell you what I think it is that with my static is that I have a super sensitive microphone. And when I touch like that, when I touch my countertop, I think it's picking it up. And I think I had my mic up pretty loud. So how about if I back off and I don't touch my desk on this super sensitive microphone? How about now? And I don't have any fans running. No, I killed the fans. It's weird. It's random. All right, hang on a second. I'm going to turn the volume all the way down. And I'm going to touch all the cords. Just a second, guys. Just hold tight real fast. Thanks for your support. Yeah, I know we're losing people. Just a second here. I apologize in advance. Turn your volumes down. I'm going to take these cords out for a moment. Okay, did that fix it? Yeah, exactly. The fancy mics, right? I'm about to be done with this fancy mic. How about now? Did that fix it up at all? Does it mess me up if I put my elbows on the table here like this? Because I do have a solution if that's the case. Check, check, 1, 2. Me. Oh, no, good so far, good now. I must have had a bum connection. Touch away. All right, I won't bang. I'll just touch. I must have had something loose in there. Yeah, snakes for the memories. You're right on the fancy mics. Like, it feels like everybody that has one of these podcasts has like this boom stand mic like hanging right in front of them. But I'm not going to touch it because it'll make a ton of noise. But these condenser mics, they're made to mic a whole room. I was recording in my garage one night, like guitar singing, like recording. Oh, Phil says definitely a connection. All right, hang on. Hold tight, guys. I am going to kill that mic. All right, Steven, you might have been falsely accused. It might have been my mic doing it.
Oh,
I'm
no.
on my computer mic now instead of my room condenser mic.
I mean, can you hear me well?
Yeah, pretty well.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, so I'm just talking. So.
All right, perfect. I will keep you clued in. Those of y'all that were here early, I appreciate it. We had 19, we have 10 now. That's what I get for bum mics, but we'll start the show. So if you guys don't know, this is Steven from Leviathan Snakes, and you're what, just outside of Aiken, South Carolina? Is that correct? Or in Aiken?
Yeah, we are literally like right outside the city limits of Aiken.
All right. So if somebody somehow has missed you along the way on the ball python talk circuit, give us the quick, pitch of Leviathan Snakes. Tell us what you're up to.
Okay, so we are a small ball python breeder. We haven't been doing it for very long. This is our second season breeding. We are into, honestly, a lot of snakes because I like buying snakes, and Courtney all the time tells me that we need to stop buying snakes.
How many are you up to? Give us some stats right now.
I believe right now we're at like 60 something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So we got 24 here. It's probably about 65-ish. So
how many females are you pairing this season?
This season we have the chance for, I think it's 14 clutches. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So actually we're, for reference point, so I got a chance for 13, and if I cheat or just try and pair something in July, maybe that'll be 15 or 14 as well. And I'm just under 50. I've sold a few snakes recently because I'm trying to condense my inventory into truly what I basically, there were some holdbacks or some snakes that I bought in a collection that don't really fit my needs, and they're from a great breeder. I have total faith in them, so I have no problem explaining that to people. But yeah, I'm right at 50 myself. So, and then while you were offline getting your technical end, which for the record, my technical end was still screwed up as well. So maybe it was me the whole time. I'm not sure. How many any clutches on the ground yet?
Yes. So we have one clutch on the ground. It's actually the biggest clutch that we've had so far. Granted, it's only one other full season that we've had. It's 10 eggs. 10 eggs. It was a banana pastel leopard male maker banana to a hidden gene Wilma granite female. So some banana babies that are going to be awesome for like local shows, pet owners, things like that.
Yeah, big time. Well, and maybe some powerhouse males. I mean, you start hitting 4, 5, 6 genes, that ain't pet owner grade anymore. Nice. Good luck on that. And then how far out on the schedule do you expect your next clutches, or are you real sure yet?
Our next clutch is due on the 22nd. That she had her pre-lay shed, and based off of like follicle growth, like it's the pre-lay shed. So she is a super pastel mystic. She's been paired to a butter Mojave het ghost, but the het ghost doesn't really matter in this situation. But essentially for some bells and mystic potions.
Yeah.
We did this pairing last year and people loved it. Like people really, really like the bells. People really, really like the mystic potions. So
do the genes come out that everything will either be bell or mystic potion, or they're two of the things you could hit?
Those are two. So they could come out as butters or Mojaves with like pastel in them. Every baby will be pastel.
Yeah.
But anything that gets the mystic gene from the mom, because it's just a super pastel mystic, not like she's not allelic, the dad is.
Gotcha. She's not a mystic potion. That's what I couldn't catch if it when you were going through it at the start, if it was or not.
Yep. So she's had her pre-lay shed, and we've had 2 other pre-lay sheds. The next one's due on June 3rd, and that is our clown female who's been paired to our sunset male. Super, super excited about that one. Then the one after that, she's had her pre-lay shed. She is due on the 6th, and that is a toffee male to an albino female.
Oh, so you're going for some Candinos, huh?
Yeah. We're super excited about pretty much all of them. And then all of our females, all of them except for one that we've paired this year, are over 30 millimeters. So we're probably going to have a really, really condensed season where we're going to start getting clutches like last month. We get a clutch this month. We're going to start getting a couple clutches in June. And I feel like July, August, it's going to be just all of them. Like,
I think that's how mine is as well. I've had, I'm not in my room. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I've got the first one due on the 14th. So by this time next week, I may very well have the first clutch of the season. And then after that, it's not till I think the 4th of June. And there's 1 or 2 in June, and then it's just going to be July and August, straight fire. And I think there's one that is there's one that's probably out of the game. So that leaves me with potential for 12. So hopefully there'll be, I've been telling myself the over under is 9 or 10. We'll see the clutch number, So
are you planning on visiting shows, or are you going to try to sell all online, or what's your thoughts on that?
No, actually, that's a good point. So there was another little static that came through on my end. I wonder I wonder if it's StreamYard tonight. I don't know. I heard the static on that one, but I know you're on your phone, which really doesn't mean anyway. No, I've been shying away from shows, and this could lead into a marketing discussion or get other people's opinion as well. For me, the overhead of having a really good presentation at a show seems like a lot to overcome for an upfront expense that I don't necessarily have to take on. Now, I've also never had 60 to 90 hatchlings in one season. You might talk to me in October and I go, I want all of these gone this weekend. I will drop the $2-3 grand to get a killer setup and displays, and I'll go do it that way. So I don't know. At the moment, no, I don't have a plan for that. Things are going pretty well on Morph Market. They go well selling here. Little plug, if anybody's ever interested in what they see me breeding or pairing and you want to get on a wait list or a customer request list, I keep that as well. You can email me. All the contact is in the link tree below, as well as Steven at Leviathan Snakes. His link tree is down below as well. So I've had really good luck that way. Again, ask me in October when I'm exhausted and I still have 40 hatchlings or however many. I might go, yeah, bring the show. These are out.
Yeah, no, I 100% get it. Like we've only vended one show. Vended. That's the right tense. It sounds weird for some reason, but anyways,
Hey, Steven, I don't know if it's the internet connection. I'm not sure. It's like static and reverb, man. It's like
Okay. I'm gonna try jump back inside one more time. We'll see how this goes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry, bro.
All right. Bye.
Okay. So let's talk about candies and candinos. So I see that's popular in there. I just recorded a video today on candies versus lavenders, which I've done before, but I got a lot of comments on the last one. So I wanted to bring it back now that my juvenile females have grown up. So this has been 8 or 9 months since the last video. But what I was thinking, I've shied away from the candinos because I don't ever want to be in a position where I have to defend whether a hatchling is pure candy or it has candy albino in it. And Charlie from Reagan Renee Royal Pythons, we were talking about this on our show, on the show that he guested on a couple weeks back. Maybe that was last? No, a couple weeks back now, 3-4 weeks back. But then it dawned on me. So here's the situation I'm in. I would really like to work towards the candy pie project, of which Reagan Renee has some for sale. Check them out on Morph Market.
Please tell me it's good.
Oh, it sounds like
all right. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
It's
like
high level. You might bring the level down just a hair, but it's good.
Okay.
So we're talking Candino and albino, or candy albino project, Steven. And the topic that Charlie and I discussed from Reagan Renee Royal Pythons was, I don't want to ever be in a position where I have to defend whether an animal is candy or Candino. So if I never breed it with an albino, I don't ever have to put myself in that position. But I came across an interesting genetic possibility. I was filming today lavender versus albino, lavender versus candy for a video that'll come out Thursday. And I like the candy pied project. I'm very bullish on candy in the long run, even given all the headache I'm just talking about. And it dawned on me, I have a pied male that is het for albino. So if I bred that animal to my candy, I could get two possibilities. I could get a Candino het pied, which would be visual, or I could get a double het candy het pied, which would not be visual. And I cannot get, and if albino is in the mix, it will be Candino. So I can absolutely say with certainty what's what, and then I'm not mixing those up. So I might do one season of that for they're just cool animals. I mean, I can't imagine cutting one of the eggs and seeing that Candino pop out. Man, it would be gorgeous. So
it sounds awesome.
It was posed to me like, people ask like the Beatles or the Stones question, like it had, like, we're in any universe, do you have to pick one? That's what somebody's comment was sort of posed to me as, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a follow-up video on it. So that'll come out Thursday is when that will come out. So we were talking about vending shows, and how many shows have you vended now?
Just one. Yep. At the very end of actually, it wasn't even the very end. It was like midway through our first season, but the only show we did. We did one show, and I think we brought like between 15 and 20 animals. I don't remember exactly how many it was. It wasn't much. We actually shared a space with our friend Troy from Balls and Strikes.
There you go.
And we did the show. It was actually a really, really slow show. Like lots of the other vendors kind of complained about how slow it was, and there was lots of people who didn't sell anything. We sold everything except for 2.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good show, and it wasn't crazy stuff. It was all like bananas, some banana clowns. So it was like our highest end stuff that we had.
Yeah, you were on with me maybe the Tuesday after the show. Like you and Courtney looked like you had just like pounded some Mountain Dews. Like you two were like stoked and pumped about the whole thing. What did you invest in your overhead, if you don't mind me asking, or ballpark on what did you invest in overhead for your presentation specifically for the show?
Yeah, so we did a couple different things. Our first one, starting from like displays, because I feel like that's what everybody does. We wanted to go with a 3-tier acrylic display. We did consider doing deli cups to like lessen the investment, but realistically, part of our thing is that, and this comes into marketing. I guess we're always talking about marketing.
Yeah, it's always marketing. We're always selling. Everything's marketing, man. I get it. Yeah.
It's our very first show that we did. We wanted to make sure that we looked as professional as we possibly could. We didn't necessarily need to come out and be like, have massive backdrop behind us or anything like that, but we did want it to look legit. So we did a 3-tier display. I think it was like Next Level Caging. I could be wrong on that. I'd have to find their exact handle, but it was about $500 to get that display. And one of the things I like so much about it is that it has like removable inserts between it, so that way you can actually, like, if you wanted, you could have one entire tier, like one level as one enclosure for like an adult.
Yeah.
Or you could have like smaller ones. That way it can always look full depending on how many snakes you have, because you can remove the inserts.
So for hatchlings though, how many snakes could you display in that if you were to?
18. It does 6 per level.
At 500 to look professional, that's not bad. Did it have overhead lights, or did you do like LEDs under it, or what'd you do?
There was like, it didn't come with overhead lights, but we got one from like Amazon that's like a clip-on desk light that worked perfectly for it. Yep. It looked awesome. And then we did little like purple like paper rodent bedding, so that way it matched like our brand for like the bottom of it.
Yeah.
We did a tablecloth that was like branded to our logo, and I think that was $100. And then we also had like, because again, it was a local show, it's like a lot of pet owners. We had like printed off from Vistaprint like care guide pamphlets that, again, just trying to make it look professional, like designed and all that stuff, and then stickers. Oh, and we it was around Halloween, so we had a purple bucket of Halloween candy, and when people would come by, be like, hey, what's going on, you guys want some candy? And everybody would take candy, and they'd stop and look at the snakes.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you got to, it's the same, it's the McDonald's Happy Meal model. You take care, you attract the kids over, the parents are going to come with them, So and did you do a backdrop, anything vertical behind you or not?
Nope. We didn't do one behind us. And really it was because we were sharing the space with people and we didn't have that many snakes. So a backdrop, it costs about $500 to get like a backdrop printed, and we didn't want to do it at that one because in our like based off of it, we weren't expecting to sell as many as we did. So we're like, if we sell 1 or 2, we want to be able to break even.
Yeah.
Like, so that we didn't go with the backdrop, but in the future, we are planning. We don't necessarily know exactly when, and it all depends on like online sales. But we do want to vend like Daytona or Tinley at some point, not this year, but maybe next year. So,
what was the logistics? How'd you transport them? Did you transport them right in the display case, or do you bring them separate, bag them? What'd you do?
That one we did it with that morning because it was only like 20 minutes away from our house. So we just put them in the display case that morning, and then we took the display case there and we just set it up on it.
Right.
Actually, no, I'm lying. We didn't do that. I'm a liar. It was we set up the display case beforehand, and we had deli cups for all of them on that one, but there was a different one where we brought them back just in the display case.
Gotcha.
We didn't vend it. Our friends had borrowed our display and had the animals set up there.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I think through all of that, because like it sounds, to be honest, it's almost like a band playing a gig. Like to actually reasonably play a gig, you got to spend thousands of dollars on equipment. And like I do it now, but it took me a long, long time. Like far more than the equivalent of 2 clutches that I decided I would be cool and go vend, you know. So it hasn't made sense for me yet. But I can see the allure of a big swath of sales in one shot.
And I really like your analogy of playing a gig, because that's like I'm not in a band. I haven't been in a band, but it's a performance is what it feels like. And afterwards you feel really good.
Yeah.
So one thing we noticed while we were there, and Courtney and I have talked about this, it's not that we don't want to do shows. We want to do shows because they're fun, but we want to be sparing so that way when we do a show, it feels like an event for us. Not like we're doing the show circuit and every single weekend we're traveling around to another show and we get to a show and it's dead. And we're like, oh, this sucks. We're wasting our time. And then we're not putting on a good show, if that makes sense.
It does. You know, a lot of people say to me, man, Adam, you got a lot going on. You're doing your job. You're doing this Python thing. You're playing music. And then you always want to start some new project or learn something new. Part of it's exactly what you're talking about. I want things to stay fresh. Well, part of it's that I'm nuts and I can't sit still. But other than that, truthfully, I want it to be fresh and be exciting. And I've got a pretty good cycle going right now where work still excites me. And when I get tired of that, I manage to book some gigs and those go well. I do this show regularly. When YouTube starts to burn me out, I just dive into work for a couple days. And then I'm like, man, I want nothing but to film a YouTube video. Okay, cool. Go back to it. So I actually find a lot of value in that. I think repetitive, redundant, mundane stuff, anything can become mundane if let it. So what's up, Nicole? Everybody check out Lady Tiz Exotics if you want to see a totally different show and some killer snakes. Man, like I don't have the guts to have the snakes that she has. So you know what, I just wanted to mention and give an extra nod. You mentioned Vistaprint. Man, what a great resource, a tool at a really good everyday price. Man, I just got, and I wish Vistaprint were paying me. They're not paying me. But I had a really great experience with Vistaprint. It was over-delivered my expectations at a fair price. And the quality and the designs are cool. And it gives you enough
customization.
I remember 10 years ago when I would try and order something online printed, and it would be like these leaves behind me on StreamYard right here, and you couldn't move the leaf. It was like, here's your box where you could put this in 3 fonts. Not Vistaprint, man. It was really, really outstanding. So anyhow, if y'all are looking for promo print stuff, Vistaprint is fantastic. So.
Real quick, just on tradesmen, just because I saw the question down there. So I'm not really a video gamer, but it's PC. I built it when COVID started, and I was super excited about it. I play a little bit of video games on PC, and then like Pokemon on the Switch. So
I thought, here's how much I'm out of the loop. I thought that was your incubator. I was like, hey,
oh no, yeah, that's just the computer.
Let's do an incubator because I can't. I could show it. I'm not going to.
It looks so cool. Your incubator,
yeah. It was good. Those of y'all that haven't seen it, check out my Instagram. I'm looking at it right now. It's literally right there. I found a wine. They call it a wine, not even a cellar. What do they call it? A cave, something. Anyway, it's 80 inches tall and it's over 30 inches wide. Thank God I had a garage door for it to come in. And the people just didn't want it. They said it didn't work anymore. They weren't going to get it fixed. And it was pristine. The gasket is perfect. I got a lot of help from the community and comments on it. I ended up drilling the top so that I don't have to run wires through the gasket. And then what Steven was talking about is I ran LEDs up all around it. And this ridiculous incubator is plenty tall for me to stand straight up in with no shelves. So I turned on the LEDs and stood in it. And I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I don't know. It felt like Darth Vader or something out of Star Wars, but instead of a lightsaber or a helmet, I had a glass of wine in front of my face. So
no, it looks so freaking cool.
Yeah, Tito says you can sleep in that incubator. I know, man. Like my son thinks it's the coolest thing to like go in it and take pictures. And I'm like, Charlie, I patched all the holes that I drilled. I puttied them up so that I don't lose any heat or anything. So I've told him, I'm like, dude, you cannot go in that incubator anymore. But anyhow, yeah. And now I need eggs for it. It does no good to have the biggest snake in the biggest incubator to not be doing any of that stuff. So let's talk about building our sort of our brand, our community, and of course the metric that everybody loves to follow is the number of followers and subscribers, right? Mm-hmm. So, Steven, we've had this conversation, some of it before, but with you, and those of you that don't know, Steven has a very strong marketing background, and that's an understatement because I believe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, I believe you're working on a doctorate degree with a focus in marketing.
Kind of. So yes, it was a doctorate of business administration and strategic marketing. Right now, I'm not taking any classes for it. I had submitted my dissertation and it had gotten rejected because it was inherently biased, which I get. We could talk about that at other point. Wow. Which I get. Like, yeah.
You have a better, or on the surface, have a better response to that situation than I would have. But nonetheless, I'm sorry to hear that. I have no doubt of anybody that can follow through, it'll be you. So, but from give us your difference. We've talked about this before, but you'll put it better than I will. Instagram followers versus YouTube subscribers. Okay. What are we getting from each of those as creators?
So there's a couple different ways on it. I'll talk about YouTube first because that's where we're at and whatnot. I really, really like YouTube. I think that YouTube, the people, like everybody in the chat, like, and again, we all know each other. We're all friends. We literally see each other every single week here in this show, whether it's Tradesman's, Phil, Jeremy, and Rob. Yeah. So many people here, I can't even name them because that's the first time I get on. I'm like, okay, got to go through and type everybody out. But anyways, the people on YouTube are, like you were talking about earlier, a really, really strong community. Like the same people want to support everybody else who's creating on YouTube, at least within our own niche. I don't know if all YouTube niches are like this. And it's really, really positive and it's really, really good. That said, it is significantly harder to get a new audience on YouTube than it is on Instagram. So I think that Instagram is significantly better for raising awareness about your brand and getting it in front of new audiences and getting it in front of new people. And that once those people kind of take notice of you on Instagram, for us, they'll often come over and check us out on YouTube, watch our videos. And if they like our videos, then they kind of build up that community. It's like YouTube's further down in the marketing funnel than Instagram is for us.
Yeah. And it's a good funnel. Among other things, I also enjoy reading, and I've shown this book before. This author, Austin Kleon, you can see this book is written sort of almost like a kid's book. You can get through this in an hour and a half kind of thing. But anyway, in there's a quote where he's talking about, there was an old business book, I say old, 25 years ago, called Raving Fans. It was like really huge when like Who Moved My Cheese and the 7 Habits of Highly Successful, you know, they were all published in the same time frame. But he says, you know, in his book, he says, I didn't want people's eyes and clicks. I wanted their hearts. And to me, Instagram is the eyes and the clicks, and YouTube is where I can get their hearts. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we can make this thorough connection, where, and I use the word community a lot. But it's really where we could build a community. Hey, Mark, I've got that on my docket. I want to understand that as well. I saw that come up the other night on one of the other shows, matter of fact, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, but I'm not saying that so all transparency, I have like 520 followers on Instagram, next to nothing, but I feel like I've earned them. So that's cool. And 1,300 just past 1,300 today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Boom. I woke up to that today. I was like, yes. It doesn't really mean anything other than just a nice round milestone, you know. But I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of what I've built here, and I feel like I've got a connection to a lot of the people. So I'm really grateful for that. But that's not to discount Instagram. Man, you can do volume on Instagram. You can cast a wider net, and even if you're not capturing whatever, you know, or engaging whatever message you're trying to get to the masses, if you have a massive mass, you could still get to a heck of a lot of people, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, like, oh, did you have a question?
Well, yeah, I mean, you might feel awkward saying it. You got 10,000 followers on Instagram, and you guys did that in
we are two followers away from 11,000.
Hey-o, there you go. So,
like, yeah, I mean, we're stoked.
The snowball was there. And you correct me where I'm wrong here. You did that in about a year and a half? How long has that been?
Yeah, it was about a year and a half or so.
That's incredible. Fantastic.
We started Instagram at the end of August in 2020. So, yeah, about a year and a half, pretty much. Maybe a year and 19 months instead of a year and 18 months.
Year and 3/4, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, and is some of it just staying power and consistent posting? I know you talk to us. I know you talk a lot about it, but talk to us about your interactions on Instagram. I think you have a really good point about that.
Okay, so I would say on Instagram, on every social media platform, you can grow your account. And I'm not saying that everybody does this and that they get lucky and they don't have like talent behind it, but you can get lucky with the algorithm and you can go viral and you can grow your account that way. And that's fine, but that's not really replicable. People can't just go viral. Like, you can try to help, but you're not just going to go viral. That's not how we've built this. There is some content that's done really well, but nothing that's gone viral or anything. It is literally somebody can do exactly what we did and they have the exact same results. A lot of what we did was super, super systematic and a lot of work in the beginning. It was like outreach. So when we started Instagram, we would post multiple times a day, maybe like 2 to 3 times a day for like maybe the first month or so. And while we're doing that, we were trying to fill up our feeds. That way it didn't look like there was just nothing on it.
Right.
And then while we were doing that, we were going out to hashtags that were related to the niche that we were in and actively engaging with the people on those hashtags. So we would sort by like recent instead of trending. So we'd type in hashtag ball python. We would sort by recent. And then we would see like, all right, here's somebody who just posted with a ball python 3 minutes ago. We're going to like that picture. We're going to go to their profile. We're going to comment on the picture, a meaningful comment. Like we're not just going to do fire emoji. We're going to be like, oh, that's a beautiful banana. We have a banana ourselves. We love the project.
Yeah.
What are you guys planning on doing with them? Try to start a conversation. And then we would do the same thing we'd like maybe 5 to 7 other pictures and leave 2 or 3 other comments like that on their profile. And generally these are small accounts. They have like 300 to 1,000 followers and their phone gets blown up by notifications and they just see our logo and they see Leviathan Snakes and they see us actually having a conversation with them.
Right.
And then they talk to us back and then it builds up that natural community engagement. That's how we did it. Like legit, we would spend like hours a day doing that. And we were only getting maybe 100 followers a week, with both Courtney and I doing that for hours a day.
Yeah. Mark says, yeah, taking notes. Yeah, like that's going to be the short that I open my shorts channel with. Boom. There. I'm just going to yank it from the content here. No, thank you for sharing that. And so a couple things come to mind. One, congratulations on that success, and thank you for sharing it. But the other thing is, like you say, there's very little in this world of, in any world really, but in the social media world that truly is that viral explosion. It's work, man. I say it almost every week, but any spare time I have, I'm promoting my channel, I'm recording or editing or recruiting guests. Like, it's hard to book 52 people for a year, and I don't just have like you can't just email me and be like, hey, where do I sign up? Like, I want to have a connection. Like I say, I want people's hearts, man, not just clicks. Like, I'll run a solo show before I just, go, yeah, I got to have somebody, may as well. Because the 20 questions model never works for me. Like, I want to have a conversation and hang out and make connections. So, all right. So that was a snapshot of the Instagram model. Let me ask you this. Right now, what's your mix day to day of pictures and reels, and how many times a day are you posting right now?
We post pretty much, there might be exceptions, pretty much once a day right now, and then multiple stories. And we don't really have a limit on stories, just whenever we have something that we think would make a good story.
What's the difference for the old dude in the room losing my hair? What in the world is an Instagram story?
Okay. Instagram stories they're derived from Snapchat. Instagram stole them from Snapchat. Just throwing it out there. And it is a photo or video that goes away after 24 hours. I'm going to say the problem, but it's not necessarily a problem. It can be a benefit on how you phrase it. One, there is no discover feature on Instagram for stories. The only people who are going to see your story are people who are already following you. So because of this, they're a way to build a deeper connection with your current followers. And because of that, and because they go away in 24 hours, you don't have to worry about them looking as beautiful as everything else on your feed. You can do stuff that's behind the scenes. You can show ourselves and not just a snake, because we don't have to really worry about likes or engagement or anything like that tanking our overall stuff on the Instagram algorithm. We can just post whatever we want on our story, and it lets people build a deeper connection to us. Like Courtney and I, we were in Hilton Head at the beach this last weekend, and I know she posted like pictures of us at the beach. Just has nothing to do with snakes. It's just people who are already following us and they want to know what we're doing for Mother's Day. Like that kind of thing.
Okay. So if you were to go off brand, I won't say you, me.
Yeah.
If I were to go off brand, I had a gig last week. Hey, this would be cool for my followers to see.
It makes you seem like a real person.
Well, I put it on my regular feed. Maybe I should have.
Story.
The story, so that I'm not diluted. If somebody goes, I follow this guy for ball pythons, now he's advertising some Irish folk crap. What is this?
That actually does happen. Like, and I
did it.
I meant like Instagram, not even some random guy. Instagram will do that. So Instagram, they establish, it's called credibility within a niche. And if you are breaking out of your niche, so like, let's say you have ball pythons. Instagram recognizes that people who like ball pythons and reptiles engage with your content. And then you do a picture of you at a gig, has nothing to do with ball pythons, and it tanks. And then Instagram's like, wait a minute, that wasn't really good content. And then let's say you do it like every 3 posts you do something like that, and it's like 2 of them about ball pythons that do well, and then 1 has nothing to do with ball pythons and it tanks. Instagram's like, okay, this account is really inconsistent with their audience, and we want people to stay on our platform longer, so when they make a new post, we're not going to push that out as hard. Because we don't know if it's going to resonate with the audience or not. Like, I would highly recommend not
do that. Keep a business or
do it on your stories. On the
stories, or I saw an interesting post this week. If it's a hobby for somebody, make it your personal journal. Put whatever you want on there. If you got a business angle to it, keep your business. Keep your other stuff, your hobby or your fun angle on that. So, Mark, you're literally correct. I never see your story. I don't I'm like, I don't get what these are. They're another like consumption that I have to figure out what I'm gonna balance. And I admit it, I don't. I never see them. You're not the only one though. I don't see anybody. I don't know what they are. Some people like copy their stories into a message for me, so that like I see Kike's when he'll like, oh, if he tags me in a story, oh, that's what it's.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mark, what you got to do is you got to put my logo in your stories. Then I'll watch them all day long. Then it's cool, All right. Hey, thanks for clarifying that for me. Let's switch over to YouTube for a minute. And by the way, I think I'm asking this, I'm going to pose this question, but I'm going to give my 2 cents too. I think content is the king on YouTube, and I think your content is fantastic. So there's the long and the short, like do it until you get good at it and then do it more kind of thing. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of jumping in, just get started, figure out how you're going to do it, and you're going to get better. Yep. And I purposely leave. My day one video is still on my channel. You go back and watch it, and it wasn't even on a phone this decent. And I'm not a phone guy, so it was mediocre at best, and I didn't know what I was doing editing. And anyway, I don't think I'm great now, but I'm a heck of a lot better. And just do it, and you'll learn a million little things along the way. Con Worker One says, when are you getting monetized? I think Steven is. I certainly am. But I'll tell you, it's a big day for me if I'm cracking $2.50 a day kind of thing. So it's not a huge thing just yet. But you might not have been talking with us. I'm not sure. But Steven, what's your strategy on YouTube? What do you focus on YouTube? What are your kind of your purpose points, so to speak?
So our approach, I think we may have talked about this before. I don't know if it was this live or not, but so for our YouTube stuff, we actually started in December of 2020. The Christmas tree was up for YouTube. That's why I remember it being that time.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do, because it was just me at the time and Courtney wasn't really doing it as much. I was doing, I think, 2 to 3 videos a week. And honestly, with all of my other schedule, it was too much. And I was just putting out content to put out content, not good content. I was just like, I just got to get a video up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily good. It wasn't really edited super well. Thank you so much, Phil. Adam is freaking killing it. Yes.
Phil. Thank you, sir. That's 2 rats. Tito, I get to place an order from you this week, brother. My rat guy is Tito. He's on here. This is great. Phil, why don't you just save me the trouble, send it right over to Tito, and we're all even here. No. Those of y'all that don't know, I joke, but I'm serious. My YouTube monetization strategy is to pay for my rat overhead so that I don't have to breed rats. I want to be breeding ball pythons. I want to be making good content. I don't have the square footage or the space, and I'm allergic to rats. And I've heard all the great reasons why I should breed them. I just don't want to. And Phil is now encouraging that behavior. Thank you very much, my man. You're a good man. Thank you, Phil.
We need people like Phil. Like, that's right. Okay, so early on, we were just putting out content to put out content, which was good because honestly, it helped me practice and it let me learn different things about videography, but they weren't good videos. And there was like a good 3 to 4 months. It was last summer that we just didn't do any videos. I took a break because I was so burnt out from it. And it wasn't until August of 2021 that we started again making videos. But this time it was like, all right, we're going to do 1 video a week. Just 1 video a week. That's it. And we're going to make as highly produced as we possibly can, but only 1 video a week, and we're not going to worry about it. And I would say a good of our, I think we're at 1,400 followers on YouTube right now. I would say 1,000 of them have come from that August of 2021 until now. Like that was the point where it like really took off for us, was where we stopped just putting out content just to put out content, and we put out 1 piece of content that was as high quality as we possibly could make it.
How much do you focus on? How often do you look at your metrics, or do you not? Do you just go, all right, here's the content? You do.
I do. We actually cut out our intro clips because of looking at the video analytics. So we noticed that.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah, talk about that.
Yeah. So we noticed that as we were starting it before, almost all of our videos would start with like, "Hey friends, my name's Steven with Leviathan Snakes, and here's a snake that I'm holding. And for this week, we're going to be talking about this topic. Let's get to it." And then it would cue the intro clip. And we noticed that we were actually on our audience retention, one of the metrics for YouTube. It's saying, like, just in case anybody's not super familiar with it, it's how long are people watching a video for you and when do they leave? We were noticing that we were getting about 15 to 20% of the audience was literally tanking as soon as the intro started. And it was like, in our idea, we were just like, okay, the intro clip gets boring. Maybe they get distracted, like, oh, I'll come back to this later. And then they just didn't. And what we did is we literally just cut out the intro clip. So instead, we just jump into the video. So if we were going to talk about, like this last week, we did like, how many snakes does it take to make $50,000 a year?
Right.
And it would just be like, we're going to talk about how many snakes does it take to make $50,000 a year. Let's get into it. If you're going to talk about pets, this is how many you need. And that was it. And people the dip didn't happen. It just stayed.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at that dip a lot and I do wonder about it. I've had, from my own experience, I've had a pretty good audience retention. And one of the metrics is how much YouTube can charge advertisers to advertise on your channel per 1,000 views. And mine's really high. I just don't have a high number of views. It's not, I don't have the volume to make the high number really good kind of thing. So I've left mine, and my intro, all cards on the table, has advertisements for the live show in it. So it's another brand building mechanism. I haven't felt a pain yet where it's hurting me, but if I did, I would abandon it right away, because you could drop advertisements or overlays or banners anywhere you want. There's a million ways to do that. So yeah, I've left mine, and I kind of enjoy I'm a little more pompous in my first intro section than I am in the video. So it's almost like I'm cutting this exciting promo where I got to hit sharp. And then I, then I get into the longer content. So yeah, I guess my point is in this long session here, I really enjoy the interaction and the relationships built on YouTube. I mean, a lot of it feels like the relationships, not necessarily in a bar. I'm not saying we're a bunch of alcoholics, but where there's that conversation and you have a chance to get to know somebody and you're not immediately labeled as this or that. And if I'm this and you're that and you're the other and blah, none of that crap, it's so much better. So I really enjoyed it. And I appreciate the YouTube community that supported me and continues to. This is really cool. Let's switch away from the marketing, the YouTube, the Instagram, because not everybody has channels like we do, which there's a lot of benefits to that as well. Let's talk snakes. I think this will be up your alley. Let's talk snakes and economics.
Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know, I can't imagine there's nobody that doesn't realize in one way or another, the market, the economy, everything is really uncertain right now. And I'm not here to say it's the end of the world, the crash is coming, blah, blah, blah. But how about some facts? S&P is having its worst year in generations right now. And one bad year will happen. We've been on a string of 15 killer years. I am cool with the S&P kind of thing. So there's that going on. We all feel the pressure of inflation. We're paying, 25, in some cases 30% more per gallon of gas, not to mention what we're paying for food. If you're into chicken wings, you're paying a whole lot for those right now for game day coming up in the summertime. So not that any of us know, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you do have a crystal ball. What do you see? What do you do in times of uncertainty, with whether it be with ball pythons, with business in general? What are you feeling right now?
So a couple things. we'll go on ball pythons, specifically on ball pythons. I am really, really confident on ball pythons, and it's not, I don't know, like in terms of like greater like hobby, like how everything will pan out for everybody else. But earlier you had mentioned like your waitlist and all that stuff. So like we do like the waitlist too. And like we have it like built for different projects. Just for the Sunset project, I think there's 19 people on it right now. So it's like in our kind of again, greater hobby, there might be different things that happen, but for us, we don't have enough volume where we're going to have more demand than we're going to have supply for, if we're talking about economics, at least on us on a micro scale. So we're not super worried about it right now. And I think that if we were at the point where we were having like 1,000 hatchlings a year, like maybe we'd need to be worried about it, but we're not going to be at that point, like at least not anytime soon.
So my feeling is similar, and I often use the expression, which just gives me an out, but it's truth. Everybody's situation is different. So what one audience member hears from Steven or from myself, it might not apply immediately to you because you might not have X, Y, and Z lined up, or you might not have X, Y, and Z in your life. And vice versa, there's some people that are so far ahead of me that anyway, what I'm saying is each of these are unique situations. The reason this came into my mind was first, in these times of downturn, I find when everybody else is going crazy, be the calm person in the world and navigate the chaos, because opportunities come from the chaos. One of the chaoses that I'm seeing right now, and it could be completely coincidental. There's 2 Facebook local groups here in Jacksonville that I keep an eye on. I kind of shy away from Facebook, but I'm kind of in the shadows, you know. I have seen more people in the past 10 days listing collections for sale that they're getting out of. And what I wonder is, I will be the first to admit I'm at a lucky, fortunate point in my life where I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. I have a comfortable plan for my future. I have quite a safety net. I've worked hard for it. I've worked my butt off for it. I don't apologize for it. But I know that's not the situation most people are in. And I lived that way for a long, long time. I was the server that on the 22nd of the month was picking up shifts and working overtime because I had rent due in 8 days. And for the first 22 days of the month, I messed around so much that I put myself in a bad spot. I know that there's people that are in that situation. And I wonder if expenses and uncertainty and worry and concern are forcing people out of non-essentials or luxury items. And ball pythons fall in that somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I fear that because both for the people that are going through it, that sucks. That's awful. Secondly, that means that the marketplace is shrinking and overall demand, like you said, a micro scale for Sunset, sure, it could be through the roof. Is the market as a whole going to take a X percent hit? Maybe so. And that's what I'm wondering right now, if that's out there.
Yeah. Like I don't know if we've ever done a video on this. We haven't, at least. I think we've talked to people about it, but for the like people getting out of the hobby, I think that one of the most common reasons, or like factors of reasons that make people get out, just like what you're talking about, is when in your regular personal life something comes up and you need money. And it might be that inflation is really, really high. Rent just got increased because rent's going up everywhere, and it's like, crap, like I need to find a way to make up this type of money. And then for a lot of people, not everybody, but ball pythons are like valuable. And if you have some valuable animals and you know that they're valuable, but you have had trouble selling animals in the past, maybe you've had clutches and that they didn't sell as fast as you wanted, and then it's coming up now where it's like, man, like the breeding season is about to get going again, and I still have hatchlings from last year that I need to sell, and I haven't moved those yet. And I need money right now. Hey, I'm going to sell off. And then I think that happens, not all the time, but I think it's a very common reason why people get out, is that they have trouble selling ball pythons, or they have trouble selling reptiles, and that they need the money for something else in their personal life.
Maybe I should, you know, it's funny, real, like if somebody wants to start a YouTube channel, like the top 5 this, or the bottom 5 this, or the most reasons people do this or that, or the best this or that, the list videos do really, really well. But I was thinking maybe I should do one of why, like the top 5 reasons I think people get out. But what I see is what you're talking about, real life coming up that either frightens them into it or truly pushes them into it. Either way, the result's the same. Debt would be my other reason. They figure, they don't realize the patience and the time that it takes. And I don't say that in a scolding way, because I am a horribly impatient person, but that's one of the things I love ball pythons for. But I'll tell you, one of the other things that I see is relationships and not being forthright with, here's how much I want to spend on ball pythons or my hobby with somebody's significant other. And rightly so, they've gotten themselves into hot water by hiding or lying. And the hot water isn't just like, I'm not going to talk to you tonight, I'm mad at you. It's they've screwed up their family's finances because they haven't had an open conversation with somebody that they're supposed to inherently trust. I mean, we're talking, these are expensive things, man. If they didn't provide an opportunity to pay for themselves, I absolutely would not ever be in ball python, surely on my own money philosophy. With that being said, I think some of the, and this, I hope it doesn't sound predatory, but it's just a matter of buying where opportunity's at. If people are getting out and they're good, healthy snakes, which isn't always the case, but if they are, you can get value, incredible value. One of the few dollar amounts I've never talked about publicly, and I won't, is what I bought another gentleman's whole collection for. Provided incredible value. I hope it was good at the time for him as well, but incredible value for me. Creative Genetics says, so you're saying we're addicts. I'm not saying we are. I'm saying that there are addictive personalities and toxic behaviors. But look, I see it in cars. I see it in guitars. I'm not a car guy, but I am a guitar guy. You go to any specialized forum. Hell, you go to the Toyota Tacoma truck forum, man. There's guys talking about, well, I didn't tell my wife. I got this mod for the truck, you know. It's not worth losing sleep or relationships over it, you know. So that's just my 2 cents. Hey, I see some new names and faces. Nixon Reptiles, welcome. Elevated Morphs, back. Thank you, guys.
Nixon Reptiles is awesome.
Oh, cool. Dude. All right. Well, even awesome and welcome on the show. Angel, how have you been, man? I've seen you in a long time. Welcome. I know I've just missed you. I see you on Instagram fairly often, but I hope you're well. So for me, my mindset right now, both with ball pythons, but with some of the other economics in the market, whether it be real estate, I know real estate's going to come down. I actually hope the bubble doesn't. I hope there's not a bubble that bursts. But mortgage cost to borrow went up. Demand of houses goes down. All right, drives prices down. S&P, like I say, is it's down. I'm 42. I got a long window before I'm going to retire. I need that long-term money. I got time to ride out these recessive times or corrective times. So I'm actually buying just the same as I've always been, or even a little bit more when it comes to investments. And I would consider doing that with ball pythons. I got a bit of a space issue right now. As crazy as it sounds, my great big incubator is going to save me space in my heated room because I had 2 smaller incubators in there. Those are gone. So I'm in the market for, I need a 55-40 rack to get my big girls into. And if I could do the 2x10 of those, or a 2x maybe 8 high, I don't have as high of a ceiling as I need in my room. that would really free up some space. And then I would probably get a little aggressive with buying right now, provided they were healthy and that sort of thing. So there I am. There's my take on the economy and what's going on right now. Mark said, I lost the comment. It's way back there. Mark said that he bought 2 snakes this week. Congratulations, Mark. I don't know if you got them on. I don't know if you were winking that you got them on a discount or a deal, or that you're just charging ahead as usual. Amanda says, she says, yeah, I'm with a car guy myself, and transparency is key. I agree with you. You know, we're all going to have, for me, it's ball pythons and guitars. For my wife, it's pedicures and you know, drinks with the ladies. We're all going to have something, and we got to make it work and be open and honest with each other, you know? All right. We will get to some, audience, get your questions together. We're going to get to some of those in just a moment. I have one more topic on my docket that Mark was asking about as well. So it was another show the other night, and I maybe it was Warfels, or maybe, I'm not sure whose show it was. I was watching, and Steven, you made a comment that, and I'll put you on the spot for a minute, but I think you're cool with it, that you make more money on Reels revenue on Instagram than monetize ad space on YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I understand that, right? So take me from the start, because treat me like a dummy that I am. I had no idea you could even be monetized on Instagram. So how does that work? Where does the money flow from, and where do the advertisers get out of it? So talk to me about that.
So right now, you have to be in the United States to be able to be eligible to be monetized on Instagram. And it's part of the Instagram Creator Fund, specifically the Real Creator Fund. So there's different funds, and this is the Real one.
I gotta hit pause for 1 second. Like, one of the first times we met, you told me this was starting and you didn't know how it would turn out, but you wanted to see if you could like get in and learn about it and participate in it. Man, here you are talking about the results you're getting. Killer. Good for you.
Yep. So the way it goes is it's monthly. It starts on the 22nd of every month, and then you have like until the next 22nd to pretty much make the maximum real bonus. And the maximum real bonus is $8,500 a month. Now that's a lot of money, and most people aren't doing that. But one thing for it is that your like pay per, so on YouTube it's like CPM, how much cost per 1,000 view. M, by the way, stands for milli, in case anybody yeah, it's like millimeter. It's a thousandth of a meter. But anyways, so on YouTube it's almost like flat, like it can adjust for your channel, but you know, for every 1,000 views you get $10. I don't know, I'm just making up on whatever it is.
Actually, that it does fluctuate. I see it as my performance improves. I generally viewer engagement drives that higher for me, like time engaged per video.
So for Instagram Reels, everybody starts off at a higher CPM than once you kind of hit it. So once you are going for a while, it will back off, so that way it takes more views to get the same amount of like pay. But pretty much based off of what we've seen, anybody who is monetized on Instagram and does Reels on Instagram, it seems pretty easy to make $100 a month on Instagram for Reels.
So what does it take to get monetized, though? You just said for anybody who's monetized on Instagram. What are the stipulations on that?
So I think that you have to have like no active community strikes against you, have to be in the US, and I don't think that they've actually put out like there's a follower thing, but they'll invite you to it. So like we had known we were eligible to be monetized for months, and it was just like, where do we sign up for this? Like it literally said like you can check on your Instagram, like there's a thing to see if you're eligible for it, and it'll say if you're eligible or not. But it took us months until we just opened up the app one day, and it's like, hey, you are invited to be part of the Instagram Reels Creative Fund. And then you go through, you link your bank account, and
same as
start making yeah. But I don't know, there's not necessarily like a follower thing. I've seen articles where people have done it with like 800 followers. Some people have like 10,000 followers. There are people that we know who have 30,000 followers and they're not part of it. Like, so it's not about a follower thing. They just invite people. I don't know exactly how they determine it.
It almost sounds, I mean, there's so many things in this world that is just go ask for it and people will be like, yeah, you get to it. And maybe that's the way it is with the Instagram on the, I'm going to go look. I actually, I don't know if you saw me taking notes. I'm going to see and Google and all of that. Another of my favorite quotes in this book is the guy says, Google everything, man. If there's something you don't know, Google everything. You'll be curious and Google everything. So, but in a nutshell, you're saying you're finding it relatively, again, and for reference, I won't put you on the spot. For reference, everybody, my monetized YouTube channel, the first month actually was pretty booming. I made about $180 that month. I'm well into my second month since the first month, so third month total, and I haven't cracked the second 100 yet. I will at the end, or they pay out at the end of the month, so it will be this month. But like I say, if I can manage $1 to $2.50 a day, I'm doing pretty well on that. Are you saying that you feel like you're so relative to those kinds of things, it's easier, the return's easier on your investment, quicker, all that?
So how much time do you spend like full on, whether it's the live, working on like YouTube videos? How much time do you actually spend a week doing that?
Okay, so let me frame this though, to your point. The answer is a lot, and I'll give you an exact number. However, in my monetary equation, I'm talking about selling snakes, moving my brand. I was doing really pretty well on sponsorships for a while, which is something that I'm still exploring and learning. So monetized on YouTube for me, the AdSense is very, very little of it. The brand ability to sell is a big part of it. But now back to your question. So I probably spend, let me just go through it. I spend, I make a thumbnail for this show. I do every episode, whether it's this show or whether it's a traditional video, I put together an SEO kind of target, search engine optimization target. So that's why my titles always have, what does it say tonight? Like collaboration as a strategy, breeding season. I always have something that's searchable for people to come find. So I put that together. So a thumbnail and that takes about an hour. I book people, I don't know, a little bit of time. And then I'll spend, we're going to spend an hour and a half tonight and 15 before. We call it 2 hours. So there's 3 hours just on the live show. Filming an episode on a regular video only takes me about a half hour. I usually have that drawn out, but I'm always thinking about it. And then the editing, man, I probably edit for, on average per video, I probably edit for 4 hours. So figure each, and so I do 2 videos a week and a live each week. So then we're up to 13 hours a week I'm putting into this thing.
Okay. So let's say, and again, I'm just kind of going off of here on just throwing it out. Let's say, so I'm going to say 10 hours a week.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Let's make easy math. There we go.
All right. 10 hours a week. And let's say there's 4 weeks in every month. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm coming in at $2 an hour. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For 40 hours worth of work to get, and then monetize, like if you were going to make, let's say you're $100 a month. Let's just say you make $100 a month from it. Again, I feel like that's pretty much what anybody can make on Instagram Reels if they're monetized, just because that's where like the break point happens of like where you start getting like the really big CPMs.
Absolutely.
We can probably make, in 30 minutes, I can probably record enough footage for 20 reels. In 30 minutes, where because again, reels don't have to be like super creative. It can literally be, here's a beautiful snake in good lighting, and I'm just going to move it around and show it to you in different angles. And I'm just taking about a minute or two while I'm holding the snake and doing stuff like this. And I record the video, I put it on my phone, and then later on when I'm ready to post the reel, I go grab the video and I put it to a song. And then that has gotten us 100,000 views on a reel before, multiple times.
Do you, a really nerdy question, and only because I know some of the equipment that you use and I use similar equipment. Do you record your reels on your phone or do you record it on your Canon?
The Canon, the M50.
How do you get from your Canon to vertical on your phone?
So the Canon, if you tilt it, it is automatically it'll record it vertically, and then
90 degrees, it'll go vertical.
Yeah. So it'll go vertical if it's 90 degrees with the screen if it flips up. So the screen has to flip up. That's what makes it go vertical. And then you just record it like you normally would. You put it on a micro SD card, put it on your computer, and drop it into Google Photos.
Believe it or not,
and then from Google Photos, we just download it onto our phone.
That's why I asked. I always ask. I don't care to be the dumbest guy in the room. So those of you that don't know, I use the same camera Steven does. It's a phenomenal camera, Canon M50. Matter of fact, in the link below, there's a link to my Amazon store. You can click it there. Help me out if you want to buy one. But I'm sitting there recording, and by the time I cut it down, it's a vertical little strip. Or excuse me, a horizontal little strip on a vertical screen that looks like crap, And I was like, no, I'm doing something wrong. Thank you. There's the answer right there. Just as simple as, all right, cool.
Yeah. I don't know what your setting is on, and I know this is getting super in the weeds for everybody. The Canon M50s are really, really easy cameras to use. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I really like them a lot. They have really good autofocus, and I would recommend, if you're not already doing it, at the 30 frames per second at 1080p, because the 4K messes with the autofocus.
Oh no, the 4K I don't use. Actually, I use even slower so that I get
24.
I use the 24. I get like the cinematic almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so we don't have to go all that nerdy. Yeah, great. So what am I? Let me get your marketing thoughts on this, and actually, I'd love the audience's input as well. Let me give you the groundwork. So y'all might have seen I did a video of 5 new business goals challenges for myself. I've completed 3 of them. The 2 of them left. One of those is that I want to start another YouTube channel, not abandon this one, but another one where I only put shorts up there. And why I want to do that is I found that shorts were conflicting and screwing me up with my regular traditional viewers that I had built that came to expect the content they were getting from me. And I'm not saying I want to do shorts just for the sake of doing shorts, but here's what I know. The more people I can reach on these things, the better chance I have at succeeding and getting any kind of message out there. And in my case, my message is Proper Royals Ball Python brand. Why do I believe this? I believe this because TikTok is the single most downloaded app in the world. It's the most interacted with on a daily basis in the billions, multiple billions app. And nobody 42 and older seems to be using it. So that means I'll become a dinosaur if I don't figure out how to engage the medium by which people are communicating. I know it makes me sound like an old dude, but it's just like any business. If you don't evolve, you're going to go away. So between YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, for that matter, all that content can overlap in the manner that Steve and I were just talking about filming on a vertical format, less than a minute long, and I'll take it from there. And I'll do just what I talked about earlier in this episode. I'll suck at the beginning. I'll figure out. Suddenly I'll get a hit. Something will work, and then I'm going to take it from there. And that's what I did on YouTube, and I'm cool with doing that. But that's one of my goals. So, as a viewer for my channel, would you not want shorts in the same channel? Like, would you find that as like polluting and distracting, or would it be too much of a headache for me to go, hey, there's another channel. Will you make a click over there? Check it out, and I'll give you the shorts material over there.
I don't know what the chat is, their like thoughts on it. For us, which we don't really do a whole lot of shorts, I know we could repurpose reels. We go off of the idea that each platform has their own audience and their own types of content, even if they're the same format. Like you can do a reel and a TikTok, but the audience on TikTok is different than the audience on Instagram, and that both audiences like different things. So we've noticed that our holding a snake and just making it look pretty and like essentially having a picture, but it's a video version of a picture, works really well on Instagram, but doesn't work as well on TikTok. TikTok, it tends to be like more funnier and actually less polished. Like if people see a super, super well lit, like almost commercial professional grade production quality, they scroll because they think it's an ad. on YouTube, something that we want to do is there is a feature in Adobe Premiere Pro. It's called auto reframe, and you can take any size. Like, let's say this is I don't know what the dimensions on this is. 1080 by 1920, probably, like a 1080p.
9:16 ratio, I think.
Yeah, 9:16, but horizontal. So
Right.
auto reframe on Adobe Premiere Pro, you can pretty much set up a clip and you can say, hey, do 9:16, but make it vertical. And it will actually use the AI in Premiere Pro to track where the motion and action is on your footage. So it will like follow you along, and you can make it. So we're going to try to make micro versions of previous videos we've made, so that, and auto reframe them so that way they're under a minute long. And the idea is like it's almost showing like little tiny clips, like interesting bits of other videos. So as people are going through the shorts feed, not on Reels, YouTube Shorts, they might see a clip of one of our videos and be like, oh, I want to watch that whole video now. And then they go to our profile.
That's part of what I want to do the shorts for as well. And I wasn't joking earlier when I said, your 60 seconds on what you did your first month on Instagram would be a perfect example of that, where somebody goes, what the hell was that? That was brilliant. I want more. And okay, boom. Now they can find out about more on, but like I said, they would have to jump channels though. So anyhow, I'm going to engage myself, whether it's on Instagram with Reels, or here on YouTube with a separate channel, or both, and I'll figure out which one works the best for me. But I'm looking forward to that. We had a couple questions from the audience. One, a quicker question, and I forget who asked them. So I'm so sorry. Somebody asked, does my family help with the ball pythons? Not a whole lot. They help by being very cool with me having them. My son's really into the ball pythons, but he's not into cleaning them. And my wife is great about the ball pythons. If I'm out of town or traveling or playing a gig out of town, Kelly definitely takes care of the ball pythons. But by and large, she kind of takes care of she's probably 80% of the dogs. And we have a bearded dragon as well. She takes care of that. And then maybe I'm 20% on the dogs, or 10%, not much. Like, I get the best benefits of the dogs, but I don't do much to take care of them. And then the ball pythons are all mine. I take care of all of the ball pythons. So creative genetics, this is always a hot topic. Like, here's the hot takes. Here we go. We get to fire these off. Creative Genetics wrote earlier, and it was 10 minutes ago. He says something to the effect of, I heard you could spend $17,000 on 7 snakes and make $50,000. You could. Could is the word. Could is potential. How are you going to do it? So let me think this through, and Steven, jump in with me. So what are we talking? Let's just hypothetically run through the 17 grand, 7 snakes. So we're going to get 2 males and we're going to get 5 females. We're going to buy probably a different visual female, 2 different visual females, and then those are going to be $1,500 a piece. That's going to leave us 14 grand for the other 5 snakes. So we're going to spend 2,500 and change on the other 5 snakes. And we're going to blow the roof off of double recessive hets that overlap, get some codoms, but not many, and sit on our butts for 3 years.
Yeah, so he's actually referencing our most recent video.
Oh, this is
yeah.
Oh,
he's referencing our most recent video.
All right.
So the thing is, if you are trying to make a full-time living breeding ball pythons, which we defined as $50,000 a year for one person, and I know that changes based off of location and based off of stuff. In order to make $50,000 a year breeding pet snakes, and again, there's not value statements, it's just pet, like $300 or less, you have to be able to breed and sell 167 pet snakes a year, every single year, in order to make a full-time living. If you want to do it where it's like breeder.
Let me slow you down. So on the 167 into 50,000, what was the average sale price that you went with?
$300.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and in order to do that, you actually have to be able to house, it's like 44 breeders on, like, in order to hit the odds on that. And in order to have enough racks for 44 breeders, 167 hatchlings for sale, and the ones to do it, it ends up actually being more money total invested if you were to buy it out. It ends up being like $28,000 total.
Yeah.
And it's just that, and again, this is like assuming that somebody's wanting to do it professionally and buy all the racks. Even if they don't buy them up at once, they might buy them over the years, but they'll still end up spending that total $28,000, and they might hold stuff back. But that's the thing. So it's like, realistically, if you are doing it as a hobby level, and by hobby level, I mean like in a bedroom in your house, you're probably not going to have enough room to do it. And that trying to make a full-time living breeding ball pythons that are predominantly $300 or less, you won't be able to make a full-time living.
So did you, and this is great. So anybody who hasn't caught on, and Steven and I are good buddies, I didn't realize this was referencing Steven's video. So here I am making some smart comments or not comments. How did you address the equation of time, brand, difficulty? So say I pop up out of nowhere. I got a $3,000 double visual that I want to sell. How hard is that to do? Where's the trust that people are going to have to buy that animal from you?
So we'll use ourselves as an example here. And again, like anybody can do this. It doesn't require a whole lot. It's just consistency and being active in the community.
And that requires a lot. It does require a lot.
So you could try to, all of the effort that's worth it takes to sell 167 ball pythons. And these aren't necessarily super, super rare ball pythons. These are ball pythons that everybody else has too. That's a lot of work marketing. Yes, you might be going to shows every single weekend during the like breeding season in order to sell all of them, but it's a lot of work. Or you can put in the work in the 2 to 3 years while you're growing up the animals, and then all you have to do is sell 20.
Right.
You actually have to sell 20 ball pythons that are average cost of $2,500. Yeah. So you could sell one ball python every other day, or about a little bit more than 2 ball pythons a month.
Yeah. And that was my point of where any cynicism came from. It's not, because we would all do it. Like we would all go figure out how to get 17 grand right here, right now. If we could spend 17 grand this year and make 50 grand this year. We do.
Oh yeah, not this year. In this situation, I assume that you're growing it up or you're holding stuff back.
Yeah,
it would be 3 years.
Yeah,
you have 3 years to build up your brand.
That was where I wanted to address it with Creative Genetics before I realized he was referencing your video here. He's teeing me up. I like it. It's good. It's all's fair. All's fair. So yeah, I talk about dollar per square foot in my snake room, value of snakes in a tub. I mean, you can't go falling in love. Your point about, I mean, $300 in the moment seems fantastic to get for a snake. It feels good. Like I'm still at a point in my life where $300 is a fair chunk of change. I'm pretty happy about that. But you're right, to get to something sustainable. My model has been that I've got to get to an average sales price of $500 to $600 per snake that I sell in a year for this to become viable. And I think I have a path to it, but I'm not there yet right now. Oh, well, actually this year I am averaging it, but I've only sold 6 snakes this year. So
I mean, get it.
Yeah. So, on that part, it's cool, but that's what goes into the breeding questions. That's what goes into pairing decisions and all the effort I put into the marketing. And you're right. 50,000 is different to every person. It's certainly enough to get my attention that could be a pretty nice income if that's what I wanted to do. So it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say one thing, because we didn't actually put this in the video because I forgot to record it when I was actually recording it. But we were going to, the whole like 7 snakes, 2 males, 5 females, $17,000. I actually had snakes that I had picked out for it. They were all on Morph Market.
I got you. Yeah.
It was sunset stuff. You could get like, I think right now, Custom Scales has like some inchy het sunset females for like $1,500 on there, and Bob Vu had like a $4,500 sunset male, and pretty much you could have gotten all 5 females and the male, and you're making snakes that are between $1,000 to $5,000 a piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something that, again, everybody has their own, what's the word? Threshold for risk. My risk threshold, I take a whole lot more solace in some diversification.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas I know you've been a proud proponent of saying, I'm putting my eggs in the sunset basket, or a whole lot bigger percentage of my eggs into one project. And I think it's cool. And I think you're doing it. And I think it takes the right people to do those things. But I think you also have to be able to sleep at night. And I just wouldn't be able to on one undiversified. But that's how I am. That's a lifetime of, that's how I am with my investments. That's how I am, with my revenue streams. What am I doing running a restaurant consulting business, breeding ball pythons and playing live music? Well, it's just me, kind of in a nutshell. Jeremy, this is an interesting outlook. And I like, it almost feels too overly simplified. Jeremy says 5K per clutch. And it's hard to have a conversation with the chat, but that's a pretty cool standard to go. Like, how much do you hold to it? If you don't make $5,000 on that clutch, will that dictate whether you hold something back from it or not? Like, do you tell yourself, that's what I got to have coming in? This is a cash flow discussion, and cash flow comes first. Then I get to choose what holdbacks I want. That's interesting. And I don't want to dig too much into Jeremy's business, but I do know Jeremy has a business that he runs separate from snakes as well. So that's always a healthy hedge. The other thing you got to think of, if you go on snakes full time, you don't have anything to hedge your bets on. If you got to decide whether you're going to service your debt, pay your bills, and eat food, you might not get to hold something back that you otherwise would,
Mm-hmm. One interesting thing on the 5K per clutch is that Jeremy is referencing there. We were down at Bob Vu's, and he was talking about it, and he actually will like average price. This is how much he generates from each female, and his thing is if he can't generate, I think it's $1,000 by pairing. No, I think it's $3,000. $3,000 from pairing a female to a similar level male, not like a desert ghost clown male to something, but like similar level male. If he can't do it, it's either 1,000 or 3,000. That's when he knows that he needs to move them out, because he can make more the space that's required for them. He could have better
the overhead. Yep. Although the overhead, when I say overhead, I'm talking feeding rats. That fits on a spreadsheet. Your space and your time, man, if you're not applying it to things that that are going to provide a return for you in one way or another, either hold back or revenue or both, ideally, you can't go falling in love. I mean, you got to let those things go.
I definitely have snakes that I love and will never get rid of, though, because
that's the hobby.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's 85% business, 15% hobby. Yeah. I got one guy, he's an orange dream het pied. He's beautiful. He'll be kind of useful, but could I make more in that slot with somebody else? Yeah. He ain't going anywhere. That's my boy. That's Johnny is his name. So, all right, Steven, what do you got? What do you got coming up? What do you got going on in your world coming up in the near future?
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's the 15th. I'm not 100% sure, but within this next week, Courtney and I are going to we've already done it, but the episode's going to air. We were on 15 Minutes of Lame for Snakes and the Fat Man.
Oh, you were?
About it.
You.
Chris is an awesome dude, like really, really cool dude. One of just really, really good dude in the community. I'm assuming most people have probably seen his show, and I don't want to ruin his brand image, but he is such a professional. And I know that sounds weird given like he is such a good dude. Like
yeah, I do believe that. I am Chris is a good platform. I don't click with him very well.
Mm-hmm.
That aside, he's absolutely professional. His production values are fantastic. he has a shtick and a niche that works very well, and he reaches a ton of people. So whether he clicks for me or not is nobody else's. That's not here nor there, and I truly mean that, because I'll say if I disagree with somebody. But that's awesome, and he is a killer platform for it. When is that going to air?
I think it's the 15th. I'm not 100% sure. He had to have surgery recently, and he was in the hospital last weekend, or this last weekend. So I don't know if it's going to come out, but I think that's when he said is the 15th. But we have that one. We're going to be on Keys Constrictors in June. I'm not exactly sure to the date, but it's like the 20-something. And we're also going to be on Jeremy's in June. Again, I'm not exactly sure on the date right now, but those are ones that we have coming up that we're stoked about. So
Nice.
At least on lives and stuff like that. And then lots of clutches. So
yeah. Well, and I'm, the cool thing about hatchling season, aside from the eggs and the anticipation and the hatchlings, like everybody's YouTube channel picks up. Like suddenly we all got content. We're all excited. We're all passionate about what we're doing. So it's going to be cool. Jeremy asked, are you on the episode with Steve?
We are on the episode with Luke from Lizard Morphs. I'm pretty sure that's his handle. Yeah, Lizard Morphs. Luke from Lizard Morphs. He's in Australia.
Again, yeah. Actually, yeah, I saw it. I was on a call with him. Maybe I think you guys were on that call too one night.
Yeah. I think Courtney was. But yeah. So again, I really like Chris. There's other thing that we're working on, which is not gonna happen. Like we might start working on it, but it probably won't actually be ready until next fall. Not this upcoming fall, but the fall after that. But we're wanting to do like a super long form YouTube video. By like long form, I mean like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. That is going to be structured more like a documentary. And there's like various different people that are like big names in like the hobby that we're going to travel around and interview and stuff like that for, which we're super excited about that too.
Yeah, that's a great long-term project. Yeah, that's really cool. And it would be a really great exercise in doing that. Also you and I have, I'm going to let you tell about it because you're the one that, so here's what people don't know. When I go pitch when I try and book a show, I talk to people ahead of time and say, hey, is there something you want to talk about? Do you know who I am? Is there something that that has interested you about me? So that we have a rapport coming into it, but we haven't staged the show. I'll give 3-4 bullet points kind of thing, and we'll take it from there. And Steven said, you take it from here. You pick up here.
So I had asked Adam before this because again, just trying to find like a topic, what would be his thoughts if we were to essentially build a brand for a reptile breeder from scratch, and not necessarily like a specific reptile breeder, but like a fictional reptile breeder where it's like, here's Jack and Jill, and they are in this area, they have this much money to invest, and they have hired us to make an entire marketing strategy for them. And we could design literally the name. This is what the logo would be like. This is the different the different social media platforms, the different types of content that they want. Here's their target audience. Here's how they're going to promote it, and do that for like an entire YouTube. That's what this was going to be. And then Adam was like, that is not a live video.
Well, yeah. So, the student says, and I was like, wow, this is a mountain of topic, and it's super niche. Like like this is sort of a hangout show. I mean, we stay on topic, but we interact with the audience and all that. And I was like, man, that's almost like professorial, like we're professors in a lecture hall kind of thing. And that doesn't mean it's not exciting. It just means that we might miss out on a typical live audience interaction. So what we did was we said, well, you know what? Why don't we do that? And we're going to film it, and then we'll release it as multiple videos in a series, maybe as little as 2, and maybe it'll grow. Steven and I were joking, like this could become like a hypothetical sitcom that we just talk about endlessly. Like, oh, it's time for Jim and Susie to buy, they're on their 3rd year, and they have to, who knows what it would lead to. But we are going to film that early next week, and hopefully we'll have that out. We'll split up the content on each of our channels. Full transparency, a bit of a marketing ploy to bounce off of each other and collaborate and benefit from it. But we'll do that content this week coming up, which is I'm excited about that as well. Again, I've got Dale Richards from Constricted Reptiles on next week from down in DeLand, Florida. That will be 8 p.m. next Tuesday night. And after that, I got a couple really cool guests cooking. Nothing 100% confirmed yet. So stay tuned. Jeremy Bod, if anybody wants to go back and do the research. I took your advice on who you recommended last time, Jeremy, and I think that's going to happen. I got a really positive response today. They wanted a few more details. So that could be really, really cool as well. But either way, we'll always have engaging, cool, positive, beneficial to our community guests on the show. Check out Leviathan Snakes wherever you can, everywhere you can. Check them out on the different shows that they'll be on. And I think I'm going to put some effort into doing that myself, kind of do a go on a tour kind of thing virtually of other shows. So I'm going to work on that some as well.
We are literally one person away on Instagram from
11,000. Oh, for Pete's sake, somebody go hook up Leviathan Snakes. Get them to 11,000 right here. Let's have it happen.
But yeah, no, I was just checking it when I was like, are we gonna hit it this time? Like, I'm excited for it. So
yeah, and look at Miller High. He's excited about Dale. Jeremy knows Dale. I know that. So we're gonna have Dale on. One of these days, I'm gonna convince George MD and Steve Casino to come on the show. Those guys are great from here in Florida. But anyhow, I'm always working on that. And Steven, I want to tell you, thank you for being here. Thanks to Courtney as well. I know she didn't participate in the show tonight, but I know what you guys are doing is working hard for the community. And we're 3 months out from Daytona, man.
I'm stoked for it. Tinley was so much fun. I cannot wait for Daytona.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. I didn't stay overnight last year. This year I will. Again, I can't say what it is, but Jeremy Bod and I have been working on a cool project. So that will come out and come to fruition here real soon. We're gonna have a blast at Daytona. So I'm looking forward to it. I wish you and Courtney and the animals and the kids and the dog everything amazing in the world. Thank you for all the support you've always shown to me. I'm looking forward to our work coming up this week coming up. And thank you to everybody in the audience, man. I wish I could go through all 32 of you that are still here. John in Inquiline says we're at 11,000. Did that happen?
Oh, let me go check. All right.
Maybe he's just saying it.
Yep, we're at 11,000.
Hey, nice.
John's alt account.
All right, congratulations, and those of you that weren't taking notes, I am going to get to work on your Instagram path to success. I feel like I'm going to report back to you and see how it goes, kind of thing.
There's one component of it. There's lots of other stuff, but yeah, crush it on there. Yeah, do the outreach.
Well, hard work and consistency has never scared me. That part I'm totally cool with. So hey, look. Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. I could ramble forever. I appreciate you being here. Cheers. I'm going to hit the video, and we are getting out of here. Good night.